It's rare that I can't yap up a wacky intro, but learning about this menace has left me stunned. I just saw this video from EWU Body Cams about this guy that would hide cameras in like every bathroom on the planet, it seems like. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got hidden cameras in my own porcelain throne territory there. Like he's infiltrated my domain and is filming me.
I'm calling because we just received an anonymous tip that someone has a camera in our employee bathroom and is uploading videos online.
You still haven't raised my charges. Where's our charges? You're not supposed to be judgmental to anybody's crimes, by the way.
What the hell is even that? You're not supposed to be judgmental of crimes? I don't remember hearing that in the Miranda rights. I can't even really imagine that. Like, you show up to a murder scene, you catch the suspect, and you just happen to say, like, hey, buddy, look, I don't mean to be judgmental here, but you strike me as a bit of a jerk for this, you know, taking a lot of human lives here. I know, sue me, I don't mean to judge. I feel like as far as judgment goes, crimes are a pretty solid one for people to form an opinion on, rightfully so. If you are found guilty of secretly recording thousands of people using the restroom, you're a fucking freak and people will judge you as such.
On July 19th, 2022, the police in Ann Arbor, Michigan responded to the Briarwood shopping mall after receiving this unusual call about video footage from a store bathroom being uploaded online. Horrifically, the resulting investigation into a tech-savvy peeping Tom would spread throughout the city of Ann Arbor. The final number of cameras and victims is enough to make your skin crawl.
It's not exaggerating either. It actually did, by the end of this investigation, have my fucking jaw on the floor with how many cameras and how many videos and how all over the place it was. There wasn't a bathroom in Michigan that was spared his peeping. Like, this guy is like the supervillain of shitters. There was nowhere safe, no porcelain throne left unsullied by his eyes. His near omniscient eyes. He dedicated his whole life, put his soul into his craft of spying on every bathroom in Michigan. He was literally like the architect from The Matrix.
This morning, it was my boss who took the phone call. I don't know what time it was this morning from a restricted number. He was like, it's a restricted website. You're not going to find it, but I just wanted to let you know.
The responding officer headed to the bathroom to take a look for herself. Notably, the bathroom was usually reserved for employees.
Like sideways, yeah, on that shelf. But, I mean, I don't know how. I know they can be tiny.
Police would learn soon enough that the employees at Altered State were not the only ones to have their privacy violated. In an unanticipated shocker, the police would find over 200 hidden camera videos from no less than 7 different bathrooms throughout the city over the next month and a half.
So this was the first domino to fall here that led them down this crazy trail. They found so many cameras and videos from this guy. It was like actually hunting Riddler trophies in the Arkham series. It was crazy. He violated so many people's privacy, spied on so many people, and it turns out this is only the tip of the iceberg because he actually has a previous case very similar to this, and had in his possession 7,000 videos of unclothed or partially clothed individuals that he filmed without their consent. 7,000! That's more than like all of Markiplier's uploads since he started YouTube. That is an unbelievable amount. And that was in the course of 5 years from 2010 to 2015. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but this guy's entire life has been dedicated to violating people's privacy.
All were filmed without consent between January and July 2022. Horrifically, this included illegal images of children. The depravity didn't stop there. When searching the offender's laptop, the police found he had engaged with online adult websites, where images and personal information of unknowing victims were distributed. Police suspected the culprit intended to participate in such exchanges after they found additional images of the victims taken from social media downloaded to his laptop.
Just when you thought it couldn't get worse. So, it's pretty clear he was also sharing these with other fucking evil creeps out there, and was even distributing personal information of the people that he would identify through these hidden cameras. So, from the sound of things, he would broadcast this onto restricted websites, and additionally, he also had illegal images of children. This guy is legitimate evil.
Even though the anonymous caller believed the video he saw was a live stream, He could have been mistaken. The working theory was that the culprit could have put the camera up at the start of a shift and then taken it home to upload the footage.
So, back to what started this whole trail of breadcrumbs that they followed was an anonymous caller tipped them off that at this altered state in this restroom, there was a live stream of people using that bathroom, of course being non-consensually filmed. And so, officer went to the scene. They searched high and low for a camera, but they couldn't find it. But they did see that a lot had been, adjusted and moved around. So it's not that they completely disregarded this as just some kind of, phony baloney nonsense. It's one of those things where they started speculating, well, maybe it wasn't a live stream. Maybe they had taken the camera home and uploaded the footage to those sites, and the caller was just mistaken, thinking that it was live.
Something else the anonymous caller said prevented the current lack of evidence from stonewalling the investigation. The man fitting the caller's description was 36-year-old Eric Deshaun Morton. This was not his first run-in with police.
But everyone said he was going to the bathroom a lot last night, and they thought that he just, was trying to not work.
It seemed likely that Eric was up to something far more nefarious than just slacking.
Yeah, jacking. This disgusting asshole has an entire history of doing shit like this. The anonymous caller was telling them about someone that could have been behind it, and the person they described fit this man's description. So they looked into him a bit. They were talking about how the previous night he was going to the bathroom a lot. I guess he drank way too much soda, so he just had the big-time pee-pee, a lot of urine in his bladder. But they speculated, this is probably when he was setting up the camera or tending to the camera.
Especially when the manager added that he made a habit of using the ladies' restroom rather than the men's room. When he was previously asked about this, Eric made the excuse that he used the ladies' room because it was stocked with gloves, which he said he liked to wear while he worked.
A bulletproof defense right there. It's watertight. Man rolled a 20 on the charisma check. That was impressive. So he had a habit of using the ladies' room, and his reason for it was, well, they have gloves there. I like gloves. Checkmate. Damn, his story checks out. This guy's good.
After learning that Eric's son was present, the officers decided to uncuff him. They escorted his son outside to play and brought out some snacks to keep the child occupied while the search progressed. A pen camera containing a micro SD card was connected via USB. When going through one of the bedrooms, they found a small black bag containing more hidden cameras, some of which were like the pen camera found in the living room. Computer forensics experts discovered his stash of more than 200 secretly recorded videos of people using the bathroom.
Unsurprisingly, the authorities didn't necessarily buy the excuse he used for the ladies' room being the really nice gloves that they have stocked in there, so they ended up getting a search warrant. They then arrived at his abode. He mentioned his son was there, so they brought his son outside to play while they searched the house. While searching, they found tons of hidden cameras. They even found a pin camera that was actively plugged into a computer. So you had all these Mission Impossible doodads and gadgets, all of which used for surveillance, hidden surveillance. And they confiscated some packages and a lot of this for evidence. And then eventually, the forensics experts found his stash, which was 200 videos of people using the bathroom. Which, maybe there's a perfectly valid explanation. Maybe he was just checking to make sure they weren't doing back-to-front wiping, because, that in and of itself is a sin. Maybe he was just looking out for people's well-being, ensuring proper wiping technique, Maybe there's a perfectly justifiable excuse that he was secretly recording all of these people. Authorities got an arrest warrant. They went to his other job at a hotel and arrested him there, which surprisingly was not his first run-in with the authorities. In fact, in 2015, he was arrested for very similar things.
He'd previously been arrested back in 2015, coincidentally by some of the same officers. In May 2015, Eric was arrested after a woman caught him filming her through a peephole while she used a porta-potty. Further investigation revealed more of Eric's disturbing behavior.
He tried to film a stranger through a porta-potty peephole. I didn't even know porta-potties had peepholes. I'm assuming he custom-built that himself, fucking threw a glory hole in there and used it to film people. Or maybe he, built his own, soundstage that looked like a porta potty so it could film people. I don't know. It's fucking crazy, though. The lunacy knows no bounds. And he would actually proudly post about shit on Twitter, too. So, like, they bring up tweets here. Like, the first one they show about him cleaning out his phone, and then he has the gall to say, "In Jesus' name."
In 2022, Eric was confronted by a coworker who found a camera disguised as a phone charger in the women's restroom. It was plugged in and facing the toilet. Eric insisted it was a regular phone charger and fled with the device. Unsurprisingly, he was fired from his job.
I'm assuming this footage they're showing comes from his Twitter, or maybe like he had a TikTok account where he's doing this loser shit like Naruto running while doing a 360. I have no idea. But it is unbelievable the links he would go to for this depravity. So he had a hidden camera phone charger, like this fucking crazy like spy gadget that he plugged into a wall outlet in the bathroom and had faced the toilet. Like, you can't trust any household objects in Michigan while this guy was on the loose. I didn't realize technology reached the point where we could disguise phone chargers as hidden cameras. So good on the astute observer that happened to pick up on that and then confronted him about it, which of course he denied, and then he snatched it away and Naruto ran off into the distance. But like, it's just crazy. Like, there was nothing sacred in bathrooms across Michigan. You think that that's a skid mark in the toilet from a previous poop? Nope. Actually a hidden camera from Eric. You think your parents are actually your parents? Nope. Actually DARPA drones that Eric designed for the sole purpose of trying to convince you to go to the bathroom so they could spy on you for Eric's hard drive. It's unbelievable how many cameras he was setting up in bathrooms across the entire area.
The case escalated to a whole new level when the police found an appalling 7,000 videos of unclothed or partially clothed people in Eric's possession. Some had even been recorded in a private residence. They also found images taken up women's skirts, which suggested he had a camera device attached to his shoe. This particular unpleasant collection dated all the way back to 2010.
7,000 videos, and also turns out he was a notorious upskirt pervert creep. He put a camera on his shoes so he could take those pictures, and I'm guessing by that tweet would even post it on Twitter. Like, he would publicly post the upskirts, it seems, or at least some of them. What? Also, it turns out he was arrested in 2006, but that one had actually been scrubbed from the records. That shit was like the cloning planet from Star Wars. Like, it had just been removed from the archives because of a program to try and help young first-time offenders or something like that. Anyway, he posted his $100,000 bail. He did get picked up again later. Turns out him getting arrested didn't mean shit to him. In fact, through some of what they recovered, they were able to actually figure out the timing of a good chunk of it, and some of it he had recorded after being discharged the same day. So he just kind of viewed getting arrested as like a nuisance. It wasn't actually a deterrent or anything for him. It was just kind of like a bump in the road, like he hit a pothole. So now all of a sudden he would have less videos that day, but he still went right back to it the second he had the ability to. It's fucking nuts. And then, in the back of the police car, this is where that clip in the beginning comes from. He then tries like a bunch of like weird conversational tactics and gotchas to try and like, I don't know, strengthen his case of innocence while in the back. And that eventually leads him to stating that the officer is not supposed to be judgmental of crime. So now he starts to try and lecture the officer on morality.
You're not supposed to be judgmental to anybody's crimes, by the way. I need your badge number, by the way.
I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, when I say I do worse, when you say I do worse stuff when I was getting in the car.
No, when you said
you're not supposed to do that.
Don't fight. And I said you're right. It's worse.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that.
Why am I not?
Because you're not supposed to judge crimes. You're supposed to be.
What are you talking about?
All right, man.
Not exactly Phoenix Wright, but a very interesting tactic to try nonetheless. You judged my crime. I'm going to need your badge number. You're not allowed to do that. And the officer's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't even do that.
In 2024, Eric was convicted of 13 felonies. Eric was sentenced to 8 to 20 years and will not be eligible for parole until 2030. The true number of Eric Morton's victims, along with the identity of the anonymous caller who started the investigation, will likely never be known.
They successfully identified 15 victims, and Eric was convicted on these 13 felonies, so he's facing 8 to 20 years. Ideally, he'll get the full 20 behind bars, but the thing is, even 2 decades in the slammer, I feel like the day he gets released, he's going right back to it. He's hopping right back in the saddle. He has been doing this for over a decade, and no matter how many times he's been taken into custody and arrested, or even been in jail for these crimes, he then gets right back to it. Like, this is, to him, his life's mission. This is why he was put on this earth. To compromise bathrooms. It's fucking sickening. Anyway, though, I wanted to just talk about this a little bit. This story just had me stunned. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya.